Blacksburg, Virginia. Stuck in the mountains, I've called this crazy little college town home for the last 4 years, where the students study at dawn and drown their anxiety at dusk. On assignment, I was given the task to find out what makes Blacksburg's food culture so apparently unique. An odyssey, per se, to eat my way into a culture many know so little about. As a journalist who's forced to maintain some level of ignorance, I went around town to ask friendly strangers exactly what food makes Blacksburg so special.
Have some beers with some friends.
I was gonna say the same thing.
Get some food, get some shooters, and just have a good time.
Get some drinks.
Being with friends.
Together,
Being
yeah.
with friends.
Tots, get some rails.
Meet people and drink.
Drink alcohol, socialize, just have a good time. Cheers. Cheers. Cheers.
I don't know. I guess we're not 21 yet.
As somebody who is 21, I met up with some friends and an active discovery, and possibly a liquid dinner. But as the night progressed, I found myself defeated as a journalist. Is Blacksburg only known for its generic beer and fried chicken? What makes that different from any other boozed-up college town? If that's the case, this segment wouldn't last 2 minutes, but I was on a mission. So the next day, my eyes still red, I woke up bright and early and met up with Kylie Rudder, Virginia Tech grad, and the hidden face behind Blacksburg Eats, a popular Instagram blog dedicated to the Valley's unique food culture.
I think that it started because I'm super into travel, and you can't travel all the time, but I do go out to eat all the time. So I wanted to focus on that and show people that Blacksburg really does have a lot to offer in the culinary world.
What about Blacksburg food is so special?
Definitely. It's very approachable. I think that it's cost effective for almost anybody. You can have so many different options here. There's also a diversity to it. You might not have a lot of one kind of cuisine, but you'll probably have that cuisine.
All right, well, Blacksburg being a college town, most people have the perception that it's just pizza and ramen. Is that what's wrong about that?
No, we have so much good, fine quality food here. We have the Black Hen with Chef T, that's amazing. My favorite is the Blacksburg Wine Lab. They do everything so well. Maroon Door is a new great option. We have way more than just your wings and pizza for sure. We have some very fervent fans of different establishments. So some people love Benny's, some people love Substation, and yeah, they'll wait in line for that. That's what they want. And I think that that's just amazing.
Oh, is that what kind of brings you here to always just eat?
Definitely. Yeah, I think it's also about relationships. I love going out to eat with friends, things like that.
It would have been pretentious to just laugh off most of downtown Blacksburg's restaurants as cheap bar food, especially since these places are by far the most renowned at what makes up the culture. I wanted to find out the most quintessential place possible, so Kylie took me to Benny Marzano's, Blacksburg's most memorable pit stop. This New York pizza joint in the middle of Southwest Virginia has a lot to say about standing the test of time, and its customers line out the door from generation to generation.
So obviously Blacksburg is a town built around a huge institution pretty much. But we also have institutions in the food here in Blacksburg. We already talked about Souvlaki and the Cellar, things like that. We have Carol Lee Donuts. People who graduated decades ago that I meet up with in person, they talk to me about Carol Lee Donuts. I just think that something that you remember that many years later, it's good.
Yeah, and people flock to those places still when they come back here for football games and stuff like that, right?
Definitely.
Yeah. When you eventually leave Blacksburg, if you do,
yeah.
What will you miss the most?
The small town feel, how nice everyone is. It's easy. Other places you go and you wait forever to get food or reservations, and I like doing it. That's a fun experience for me, but on the day-to-day, I don't want to wait. I want to have somewhere that's approachable and easy to access, and that's Blacksburg.
Yeah. Is that what you find with the vibe of people, especially adults that live here, people that aren't necessarily students or teachers and stuff like that?
Definitely, yeah. I think the Blacksburg locals are just the sweetest people. If you go to the farmers market, you're going to end up talking to people you know and strangers. It's not just going to be you talking to the vendors. The person next to you buying something wants to have a conversation with you too, and I really enjoy that about Blacksburg. I think we also have a different food culture around football, and that might not be a restaurant culture, but it's a culture all of its own.
All sorts of casseroles and steaks and stuff like that.
Definitely. You have to get a turkey leg at some point.
Oh, yeah.
Things like that. There's just these things that you have to do at Blacksburg. In Blacksburg, you have to jump to Inner Salmon, you have to eat a turkey leg, you have to get a slice at Benny's.
It's like a foodie's paradise in the middle of nowhere, right?
I think so.
Armed with plenty of fantastic insight, we went back to the physical realm. Food.
I wouldn't recommend putting just pepper flakes on.
Yeah, I did the same.
Yeah, I just dumped it on there. Instant regret.
Oh, yeah.
In my mouth.
Still good though.
Not. Tastes great, but instant regret.
As we calmed the burning sensation in our throats, I started to wonder what else is out there. We We have the staples now, but what about the new pages? What's new and exciting among the traditional? To help answer that question, I donned my dystopian face shield back on and walked to the Black Hen in Bar Blue to talk to none other than Therese Gregoire, better known as two-time Hell's Kitchen contestant Chef T. As a runner-up on the hit show, Chef T took her extremely unique expertise to the New River Valley, working for Radford University and even opening a restaurant before the pandemic. She currently works as chef consultant at the Black Hen, where she applies her skill to an ever-changing menu.
You know, I bring a wealth of expertise. I mean, I've eaten everywhere. Like, I've been to Japan just to eat ramen. I've been to the Caribbean just to eat Indian food. And that's the type of food that I grew up eating, living all over, traveling to different parts of the United States and outside of the country. I just bring a diversity while still paying homage to the food that is true to this area. And the cuisine is different because I slip a little bit of my own heritage in there in every single dish. And just being able to give you something different but relatable. That's how I cook. Simple cuisine, but, you know, bold flavors, you know? So this is just my take on modern American gastronomy with a little bit of French influence because I'm classically trained in French cuisine while still paying homage to Appalachia, you know? Because, of course, foie gras does not naturally occur here in Blacksburg, you know? We do have some great farms, but that type of cuisine and exposure, you know, mixed with the local stuff, so we might get a local ground beef and then we put together this amazing burger with foie and 24 karat gold and some local cherries that we got to make an amazing tomato cherry jam, you know? So it's just basically getting a collection of all this food and just marrying it in a way that is elevated but approachable. That is the key. If people cannot feel like, it's like a personality. If that person's not approachable, you might miss out on a great person, you know? Yeah. But when they become more approachable and have a softer touch and it's more relatable, then you're like, oh yeah, damn, I can get behind that.
With that, Chef T brought us to the kitchen where she made us winner chicken dinner, a fresh take on a familiar meal.
Okay. So we have just a little bit of shallots. You don't want to burn your eyebrows off, right? And then we just put a little bit of the Swiss chard in there.
Chef T explains how she uses her reputation as a vehicle for more daring recipes in the kitchen.
Just that ability that people are willing to try more stuff because they're like, oh, well, we've seen Chef T on TV, so she must know exactly what she's doing, right? But people aren't usually likely to say like, I wonder what's that? Or, you know, their main question is, hey, is it gluten-free? Does it have any shellfish in it? You know what I mean? Stuff like that. And we use a lot of butter because, again, even though this is Appalachia, this is still a French kitchen. With the mac and cheese, basically what we normally do is a take on a classic thing called a bechamel. So bechamel is usually a sauce thickened with milk, and then we just finish with a little bit of nutmeg, which just gives it that kind of just really nice flavor. All right, you have all that fat going on. You want to make sure that, spoon's dirty. You want to make sure that you also have balance, all right?
With my stomach ready, my plate full, and Chef T preparing for the night, I sat next to a painting of the carefully boiled bird I was about to eat. But like I say, a meal alone isn't one, so I broke the fourth wall with Alea, today's crew.
Oh, that's fantastic.
It's so good.
No, she was telling us that she made like special, it's like different. And she's saying like this is like the Korean fried chicken and like...
You might wonder, what's the innovation here? This looks a lot like what you can find in just about any southern kitchen. Absolutely wrong. We have a Korean-inspired fried chicken, a decadent, buttery French mac and cheese, and a dollop of Swiss chard in the place of your average collard greens.
This is the best mac and cheese I've ever had.
Maybe the best chicken I've ever had.
Can't forget about Nick, either.
God, that is really good, actually. The seasoning especially.
So, did I find what makes Blacksburg food culture so special? I think so. Either way, I got to enjoy myself and eat some good food, and that's kind of the point of this. So thus concludes a Blacksburg Food Odyssey.